Yes, 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 yes! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of It's Not That Deep, bro! And we are back. Episode 49, ladies and gentlemen. 49. One before our very, very big announcement that we will be telling you at the end of the show. But as of now, ølund, how you doing, mate?
I'm not too bad. It's been such a journey, man. 49.
Yeah.
This is like we're on the eve of a whole new chapter.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that at the end of the episode. But how you doing?
Fine. Just fine.
All good.
Yeah.
Let's roll on. Let's get a film so we can strap in and find out what we're going to be doing this week. The Randy Master is lubricated and firing off as it should be. What are we going to do for the countdown this week, man? It's just me and you with our guests all this time, but now we're taking it.
Choose.
We're taking it OS.
You chose a song. Choose this.
Could I have a countdown, please?
From where?
I would like to go from 7.
Okay. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the film that we are watching today on It's Not That Deep, Bro, is called The Sound of Metal. It is from 2020. I highly recommend that you go and get yourself a copy. Refreshments, beverages, any sort of things that you might need to enjoy yourself. And we shall see you on the other side, people.
Peace out. It's not that deep, bro. It's not that
Like 2005.
deep. You probably did. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are back from watching The Sound of Metal. By who? Go on,
find
hit
out,
him with
come
the
on,
fucking the sticks.
Let's get a director check.
Hit him with the sticks.
The Sound of Metal was directed by Darius Marder.
Darius Marder.
Darius Marder. He's only written one other film or directed called Loot. So he's a budding filmmaker, we may say.
Okay, all right. Fair enough.
Jesus Christ, man.
What? What's going on? What hit you? Go on, tell me what's on your mind.
It's a 5 out of 5 film. That was a 5 out of 5 film.
Mate, this film represents how to sit still.
Yeah. I've been trying to...
The whole time I'm like, this is what
I have
we've
been
done.
trying to show what this film put into a digestible narrative for a long time. Oh, God, it's hard to even know where to start. Like the Reuben.
Oh my God. Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Did you hear that? He said her name correctly.
Yeah.
He said it.
I was
Oh my God.
I was engaged with this film.
You must have been.
Reuben and his journey through losing his hearing and the social and emotional problems that brought up and the processes that he went through of putting hope in technology to get it back and then kind of having to deal with the idea that he's never going to go back to that. But then him also discovering that the key to happiness is inside and not through outward. And that's just a general summation of Reuben's journey, but that was heavy, man. That was heavy.
That sounded very heavy. Are you okay?
It made me emotional. Definitely made me think about it made me feel very blessed and very privileged
Yeah.
to be in the position that I'm in, touch wood, a relatively clean bill of health. I don't really have anything to complain about. So, and I consider myself quite sensitive to, watching people go through pain and other people's emotions. So, yeah, this film, for a lot of it, had me on the edge of, like, tears, to be honest with you.
That's good to hear, bro. That's good to hear. I mean, like, as long as it wasn't like, you know, a
A bummer.
bummer as
No,
of
because...
an emotion. Like,
Well,
if you can learn from that, then
no, ultimately it's a positive ending for Ruben because he, as I said, finds happiness inside of him
yeah,
by taking away... Because him taking those things off his head doesn't mean that he's going to keep them off. Like, if he needs to talk to somebody, he can put them on.
yeah.
But he was trying to... And
This
this is another one of those films where the name is genius because you see the beginning and you're like, oh, he's in a metal band. He loves metal music. Sound of Metal. Simple. No. This film... I've spoke to you before about the only good Adam Sandler film, Punch Drunk Love.
On the podcast?
I think in a personal conversation, it's...
Maybe. Because I don't think we did it in a podcast.
No, we've definitely not done a podcast on it. But it's about... He plays this kind of like anxious, timid guy who has anxiety and panic attacks.
Yeah.
And he ends up doing things in social situations that cause big faux pas, like smashing a glass or breaking a window because he's so anxious.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a control mechanism to control the environment because he feels out of control. But the way that the filmmaker gets that across is through the audio. And there's all these little things that annoy him. The sound of like someone tapping their foot or like the chinking of glass, and then you can't hear specifically what's going on in a conversation, but you can hear like 4 different conversations.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden
builds up, and there's like Shiva Baby.
Right, yeah.
Shiva Baby did exactly that. And that is what the name's referring to. Some of the sounds, and this film, you spent a lot of it inside Ruben's consciousness.
Yeah.
Hearing exactly
what he's hearing.
Yeah. And because he was going through different levels of deafness throughout the film, you got this sound that was like the sound of metal, like scraping your fingers. Because that's the point. By the end of the film, he kind of realizes that like he can't take any noise anymore.
Yeah, because it's just the way that like the way that he could hear after he had them implants was like they could do adjustments to him, but it's like, when he was explaining to that woman how like he tried to explain how it sounded, I'm like, I swear he could just be like, use his music knowledge to be like, whoa, that's a bit,
I
bit
think
high, bit low. Do you know what I mean? Like,
what was happening there is that he was having to swallow the incredibly large pill he'd put way too much faith in technology and medical science.
I mean,
and he thought it was going to completely bring back what he had.
Yeah.
Whereas it's more.
Once that woman said it, it's like it's tricking your brain. Your hearing will never come back. He was just like,
you could almost see that he was going to be like, what the fuck? Like, you completely fucked me up for this, and like now it's not what you told me it was. But
and now I've just lost 80 grand because of this. Wow, thank you.
But that is on. It's ludicrous to think that he could have got it back. But that's what I mean. That's why it's a difficult film, because like he's going through like denial.
Yeah,
right.
There's a something that I thought was interesting in more like my personal life.
Mm.
He's lost his hearing like after living however old he was in the film, or however old they wanted to portray him as.
Late 20s, early 30s, something like that.
He lost it then, right? So like that's even worse than if you like never had it at all.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like, you've had like 30 years of like, obviously the whole situation of people losing their hearing.
You don't know
You
don't know what you've lost if you never had it. So,
exactly. Yeah. But he's so like, and I sort of I wouldn't say like 100% relate, but like for the first, I don't know, 6 years of my life, I was good. I could see properly.
Mm.
But then when I was turning 7, 8, that's when it all went downhill from then. Do you know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, but even then, I didn't know what, like, I didn't appreciate it enough to like remember how good it was to see.
Well,
Do you know
again,
what I mean?
yeah, because you take it for granted when you've
Yeah.
got it, and it's only when you lose
Well,
it. Yeah.
take it for granted because I'm like a small kid
Mm.
growing up that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be okay. All of a sudden, you're 27, and you're like, what was that? How
Mm.
did that feel? Because I don't remember it. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them things where when I see this film, I'm like, oh wow, um, that's a real bummer.
I
I
thought
mean,
you might be able to get something from this film, and
even
just
even if I didn't have a problem, I feel like I still would have got the emotional value of like the whole film. Like I think his like stepping back point towards, because like as you're going through the film and as he's going through that journey of like learning to be deaf,
mm,
he sort of forgets about the fucking outside world, and
yeah,
he gets stuck between, you know what I mean? Like he starts like helping the children how to like control themselves or play drums, you know what I mean? Like this whole journey is like, okay, the outside world for now, you don't need
he
it.
forgets about the
Yeah.
band, his
Yeah. And then
girlfriend,
as
all of that.
soon as he sees a video of her a couple shows ago, he's like, no, I can't.
Mm.
She saved me, so I gotta fucking save her. And it just turns out that he was probably more the cause of her pain, because you could see her
She got
scratching.
better
Yeah, she got better without it.
without him.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely. I thought it left that open ended because him at that party, she's you can read into it because she was singing her dad's music and it was a completely different style of music to what they played, and it was
Yeah.
much more suited to her.
Yeah.
So the fact that he was at that social event and was having problems being in a crowd, and sure they can have great one-on-one conversations, like when they're in bed together because he's got the thing on and he can hear her fine.
Yeah.
But if she's going to take that singing voice out into the world, she's going to need like someone by her side that can handle crowds by definition. So
Yeah.
to my head, it's a really nuanced film. It's a real bit of clever like modern filmmaking because like it is a happy ending because ultimately he finds happiness inside of him. And
He finds stillness, bro.
yeah.
And is what like Joe has been telling him the whole time. Like,
But it also
moment
means
of stillness.
he doesn't
where
need her.
He does.
He doesn't need anyone.
No.
He's got Ruben. He's got that inside of him, that stillness, and that's like
He finally understands his place in life.
yeah, you could argue that Ruben was like insecure and not too within himself at the beginning when he had his hearing, sort of thing, and it's almost like an evil little film, like because he's happy at the end, but he's lost his hearing. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's got it's
You can see it. You
It's-
can't see it at the start, but like once you've seen that he is so much better off by himself, that like the start you see like, oh, I can see the unhappiness now.
yeah.
But like before, you're like, oh, this is his like every day-to-day life.
Well,
So-
Joe was saying something interesting to him when he came back after he'd sold his van.
after he had a surgery.
Yeah, but he hadn't been activated yet.
Yeah, when he was talking about
Yeah, and Joe said to him,
that moment of stillness.
no, he was like, you look like an addict right now. And then obviously he wasn't like doing anything.
Yeah.
But that comment just there is really interesting because it speaks to like what an addict is, which is a person that doesn't like themselves and is filling that gap with external things.
Yeah.
It can be anything. Like you can be addicted to like anything, and that can get like weird as well. Like you can get addicted. I don't know if you've seen like that woman who was addicted to eating the inside of cushions.
No.
Yeah, so
I've seen some weird ones. There's a woman who likes eating glass.
Yeah, I think I've seen her. I've seen this guy that has only eaten mac and cheese for his whole life.
There's another woman that drinks bleach. He's addicted to drinking, like, you know them little, you know that fucking the tap, the cap to
Where you
open
have
the
to,
fuck. Yeah,
it's like childproof.
no. The fucking the cap that you get for bleach or whatever.
Mm.
She just put like not them. No, actually not. You know, Coke bottles when they have them caps.
Yeah.
She used to pour a little bit in there. Just drink it.
So
Just a
just
little
like
bit.
10 mils.
Yeah, just a little bit. Not enough to kill you, but
Just to
enough to
dance.
get that taste.
Just to dance on the
yeah,
edge.
just to dance on the edge. And I'm like, oh, you woman, what? What are you doing? You fuck.
But
nah, okay,
yeah,
cool,
people
whatever.
people will do anything instead of confronting themselves.
Yeah,
And they find these weird little things to channel it into. And like this film speaks on what it is to be an addict. It speaks on what it is to be a human. It speaks on what it is to be someone with a disability. It's a real A-grade slice of filmmaking. Like it's a very human story. There's no like element of fiction in it.
yeah.
Other than like the people and the names and whatnot. But it's very real. And
I wish, to be honest, I wish I had someone like Joe, maybe to like, I don't know. I guess I don't really need it, but like, still would be nice to like have someone that you
was
could talk to.
older that had walked that path a little bit ahead of you.
Yeah,
Because him talking about how they all respect that being deaf isn't a handicap to them.
Yeah.
They're not looking to view it like that because how are they meant to move forward if they think they're broken every day? You know, you need to think of it like this is how I am and this is 100%. Like this is work, this is me.
yeah.
And
That's it. This is me and that is it. Like, you either take it or leave it.
yeah. But someone like Ruben, and it's mad because it shows you how you can spend you can change your whole life and sell all your possessions to get this money, to get this thing that you think's gonna
Make you even more happy, but in reality, you should just be happy with like
what's happening.
what you got. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, be it. I know it sounds corny as fuck, but like, you're alive, bro. You could be dead.
Well, you will be dead. That's the thing. Like,
yeah.
you will be
like
dead.
worrying about these like this is exactly what goes through my head every time I'm like, somebody's like, how do you deal with it? I'm like, the world's gotta keep moving. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna stop just because I can't see.
Well, I
You know
think
what
that's
mean?
the most that's like really admirable way to approach it because you're doing everything you can and some. Like you overcompensate, I feel.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I need to be bigger in my personality because I'm less on site. Based like
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, if I didn't, it would just be like I'm ignorant. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of times where I would walk past someone and they would like, obviously, like if I'm walking in town or anywhere and I'm by myself, I've always got headphones in because I don't know, I like to listen to music as I walk. If I'm with anyone else, I won't put them in and they'll just talk.
Yeah.
But I would walk past some people with my headphones on. They'll be on the other side of the street. They'll say hello or like shout at me or whatever. I'll ignore them but I'll look at them and I won't be able to recognize like what I'm looking at, right? But then they'll be like, "You looked at me." I'm like, "Yeah, I could look at you all day long. Doesn't mean I'm gonna like see you." You know what I mean? And they will always say like, "Oh, you ignored me. You didn't want to like talk to me and shit like that." I'm like, "There's no ignoring you. Like, if I heard you, if I didn't have my headphones in and I would have heard you, I would have stopped and talked to you." And I feel like my personality needs to like I need to keep it at a level where I'm like so friendly to everyone that they would be like, "Oh, okay, he doesn't mean that because of this."
But that says something about who you are, man, because people, you know, that have problems like that, normally, you know, people
angry.
No, people want to help them, and you could be in a position of like receiving help.
Yeah.
But you're actively trying to like be normal well, not normal's the wrong word. You're trying to not let it show at all.
Yeah.
To an extent, and that
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
you don't
tend
need to do
yeah.
that all the time.
I don't. But like, I don't lie to people either. Like,
yeah, you are.
If it comes to a point where like, oh, why didn't you see me? I'll explain. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem doing that. It's just like if I ever met someone for the first time, I'm not gonna be like. It's not gonna be the first thing I say. Like, so I've got problems with my son. Is that cool? Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to show it like that. But if they ask me about it, I'll be like, oh, can you see that? I'll be like, no, because of this. And I want to be able to. I want to be able to see it. Maybe someday. Maybe put my faith a little bit of faith in technology. Maybe.
Well, we'll see where things go. We don't know. I think the moral of Ruben's story is to not. You've accepted the situation, to a degree.
Exactly. Of course. If I didn't, honestly, I don't think I would be here.
And if stuff comes up where like it actually seems like there's some like improvement that can be got from science and medical, then obviously go for that. But Ruben's deal was putting all his eggs in that basket.
Like I need to be able to like. I don't trust it straight away. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
I can't trust it straight away, just because of the fact that like, look at what just happened.
I was pretty scared for Ruben. There were points in this film where it was, for me, like a horror film, because he was trapped. I thought before he took the things off his head, I was like, oh my God, this is like a nightmare.
Oh, the sound. It's like you can hear everything.
It was more the fact
super hearing, bro,
that there was like an element of a machine. He could hear like a whirring.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Like
I would go
gears
insane because I'd think there was something that wasn't me. It would feel alien to me. And I'd be like, oh my God, I've got a machine inside of me. And I wouldn't be able to stop thinking about it. That would be like hell. But then knowing that, that's really cool. Like being able to just take them off. Because I'd have them off like, unless somebody spoke to me.
Yeah, but I don't think I would ever go back like to a party. I couldn't.
No. I'd be done with all of that. I'd be reading books. I'd be like learning,
chilling.
Because like
learning literally learning to like be good with yourself. Like what Joe was trying to teach Ruben. Just like if you can't sit still.
Oh my God! Like the thing is,
right.
That process that he said that I want you to sit down and at any point you feel like you can't sit still. Write down what happened. That is the process of meditation. But instead of writing it down, you develop a mental muscle to write it down mentally and tick it off and say that doesn't matter. So that's all it is, closing your eyes and letting the thoughts stream in, and at any point that something sharp comes up, something difficult to handle, you try and wrangle it quickly before it like unravels and takes over your ability to sit still, and you're like, that is this emotion and I'm feeling it because of this, and then it seemingly identifying it and putting a label on it and giving it a reason makes it disappear for a second. And Ruben's reaction of like, seeing him destroy that donut and then pack it back together and then destroy it again. That was like tearjerker because that's so sad. Like, what's he doing? That's insanity.
That is insanity. But then he got a little bit good at it. Do you know what I mean? Like, he would do that and then he started writing, but then...
Which is why it's interesting when Joe then still calls him an addict. After all that good stuff, he says, you're looking like an addict. And he did look like an addict. Like, he was begging for money.
Yeah.
He was, like, asking for a place to stay.
And the way that he was, like... like constantly itching.
I can pay you back. I can pay you back.
I can pay you back. Yeah.
All of that. That's like really clever because he's not actually addicted to any sort of physical substance. He's addicted to not dealing with his emotions.
Not being happy.
Yeah, and not listening to his like looking for external
Excuses.
Dan Peel says this all the time when he's like giving Ellis false therapy or like rub his shoulders and go, Ellis, I just feel like you're looking for external solutions to internal problems. It's like the most cliche therapist line.
External solutions
To internal
to
problems.
internal problems.
But there's some
It's
truth.
right.
There is truth to that statement.
That is true. I
Um,
mean, like, Joe's such a sound guy.
he was a real guy. And you could see after Ruben left for the last time, he told him to leave, that conversation killed Joe.
Yeah.
You could see it really, like, killed him to do that.
Because, like, when he was saying to him, like, oh, what time do you get up? 5:30. Okay, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll make you coffee and have breakfast here. I'm like, what? If somebody did that for me every single morning, bro, I don't think I could leave. But
Well, that's because he's trying to, like, be quicker than Ruben's bullshit. Ruben was, like, trying to... It's real, like, manipulative, like, snidey behavior, like, trying to fix the roof because he'd been smoking. It's like an excuse. It's like, okay, I'm doing this, but I'll do this for you, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And then making Joe says, oh, you wake up early. 5:30, I'll wake you up. And he's kind of, Ruben gives off the impression that's not good enough. It's fine, but like, it's not what I'd do. And then Joe's like, fine, fuck it, 5. I don't care. Like, shut up. Like, stop doing this thing that you're doing where like everything, let go. And I guess I can speak on it because I'm guilty of that. Like, it's so, you have to call your own bullshit, and it is difficult to let go of a situation, and that's why I myself have pursued meditation and an attempt. Here's a good story. Okay, I'll tell this story, and then we'll tell the fans the big announcement.
Okay. All right.
I used to do karate, and
I used to do kickboxing.
yeah, this was called Kyokushinkai karate, and I used to go in town with my friend Harry and his dad, and his dad's very good at it.
Which Harry?
Harry Morris,
Sound.
aka Corrosion. His family would take me, and I actually made it like 3 belts in.
Oh, okay.
4 belts.
Why didn't you carry on?
Well,
You're gonna tell me why, ain't you?
yeah, I enjoyed doing it because I was bigger back then, and it was like physical. It was hard. I did find it like hard, some of the stuff that you had to do, and
You're quite tall as well, so
I looked at it very differently back then. Like, I didn't like rugby because like I'm like, why are you beating each other up? Like, I don't want to be in like pain. I don't care about the ball getting to the end that much to hurt myself. So like rugby wasn't for me. And then with karate, I looked at it again as this like macho, aggressive, like, oh, I'm going to beat someone up sort of thing. When really it's a self-defense.
Yeah.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
But I wasn't looking at it.
From that perspective, you were more like, oh, this is stupid. Yeah.
Well, I just was against
Hurting other people.
I'm getting hurt myself.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed parts of it, but I find it hard. And the last grading that I went to, I'll never forget, Senpai Kirit. That was
Senpai Kirit.
Senpai Kirit was the man who was, and you got a different teacher every belt.
Right.
So I liked some of the teachers, but Kirit was like, no bullshit.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, there's a way that this is done, and you're not going to get through this grading.
Unless you do it.
And the gradings were intense, man. You turn up on like, I think it was like the weekend, and you'd have to like, there was a whole tradition to like your uniform being laid out correctly and like putting it on, and like the way you'd have to sit in silence in this back room, and you'd be let in to the dojo in like a proper way. You'd have to bow as you enter. It was like a whole thing. And the grading, you'd have to like you'd have to know, there were different moves for each grade, and you'd have to know all the moves basically, and do basically like a half-hour performance of all the moves that he might ask you. And I got my ass handed to me, man. He like, because he goes around, like, they'll say a stance. Like, this is not a complicated stance, but it's the only one I can remember the name of. Zenku Sadachi, which is just like a standard
Senku Sidachi.
Zenku Sadachi, which is, I'll do it. Obviously,
You guys won't see it.
this is not for the listeners, but it's for Martin.
Yeah, right.
A Zenku Sadachi would be like that. So just like a normal, fighting sort of,
right.
Your normal fighting stance. But there was stances and all different moves for like all the gradings. And he'd say the stance, and then you'd hold it. Everyone in the room would hold it, and he'd go around and like inspect everyone's form, and basically tell you if you were wrong. And if you didn't improve it, he'd probably get angry. And then I think you got like 3 tries and you were gone, and you didn't do that grading.
And then you have to wait
You
again.
failed it, yeah, and you have to learn it all again and then come next time. And he really handed my ass to me. And at the time, I was so angry. He's the only senpai I remember the name of, Kirit.
Because he fucked you over.
Yeah, I was so angry at the time, and all these emotions, and then I didn't think about it for years, because I was like 13, 14 when this happened.
Do you see how crazy it is? Like, obviously I do it, and most other humans do it, but like, how crazy is that? Like, you only remember the bad people that were in your life more than like the good. Well, no,
Senpai. No. Listen to my story.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Senpai Kirit's one of the best people that's ever come into my life.
Right. Okay. All right.
Senpai Kirit called me on all my bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do anything right. I had no discipline. I was there, as I said. I wasn't viewing it as a respectful thing. I wasn't viewing it as a self-defense technique. I was viewing it as physical activity. I've been forced to do that I didn't want to do. And
okay, right.
Kira told me very bluntly that I have no respect. I can't do the moves, and you have no place here. So,
I mean, you having no place there seems like
with that attitude.
Yeah, but I mean, you.
I completely agree with Senpai Kira, and
because like you do have a place because you were on 2 gradings before that, so.
But I don't mind. Like, I'm pretty sure if I met Carrot now and said what I just said to him, he'd be like, "That's exactly why I did that."
Yeah.
So, and I've learned from people like that, but it took me. What is stupid, Martin, is that it took me 15 years to come round to the idea that I could have possibly been shit at karate. that is what's bonkers. How long it took me to even consider that it could have been my fault. Because it was I didn't want to.
I mean, you might have been shit at that instance, but hey, practice makes perfect.
No, don't get it wrong. I'm not saying that I don't have the capacity to be great at karate.
Yeah, exactly.
Never ever saying that. But in that instance, in that dojo on that day with Mr. Carrot, he was on the money and he was on the mark, and I believe that story has some shared sentiment with Ruben's, how he handled that situation. Like,
what, the leaving? Sort of like, when Joe was telling him like, this is more of a family when it comes to.
Yeah, just not being able to handle the situation and thinking that there's some sort of external solution to your internal
problems.
Yeah, so swallow your pride, accept the truth.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not good at something, like you said, and you want to be good at it, it's only like practice. Like there is no obstacle that you cannot beat.
Are you trying your hardest?
Huh?
Are you trying your hardest? That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, like as long as you know what I mean. Like as long as you're trying your hardest, there's nothing more you could do. Never give up. Don't give up.
I love the Randy Master because it always manages to like. This has been very fitting, this film, because it's you've been able to relate to it. I've been able to relate to it, but it's also brought up some sort of an air of finality. Like there's some sort of new page being turned. Like there's
Look, stop trying to turn this into a monologue, all right? We need to tell the fans and the people out there what is going on, okay? So you want to hit them with the deets, or am I like...
So, okay, what is going to
fucking
happen?
punching the bullet?
This is episode 49. And what will be happening next week is exactly nothing.
Not... Yeah, I was going to say, I was like, what is happening? What?
Exactly nothing will be happening next week, people.
Okay.
And that is because we are taking a short break, non-permanent, do not fear. We are taking some well-deserved time off to revamp and reconsider the format of this podcast. We are looking to take it to your eyes.
That's right.
And not just
visual.
And not just your ears. A whole new sense.
Oh my God.
You
get to see how sexy I am.
We're going to be attacking you in a visual way. So, and with a whole new look and a whole new style, to be honest with you.
We're not going to give it a time, but we're hoping. We are hoping.
And I think we've also...
within a month.
We need some well-deserved rest. Like, we've been on this, and we've got this to the level it's at, and we're so appreciative for everyone that's listening. Like, that we grow a little bit every week, and it's so exciting, because we're at a point now where we're like, this is something that we can keep on doing. And
for the rest of my life, yes.
Well, there you go. You heard it. You heard it there.
The rest of, like, if I'm 80, if
Martin,
we're both 80,
what do
we're
you
still
say?
not
You
doing
say it all
this.
the time.
What?
You're here for a long time.
I'm here for a long time.
So,
if we're 80, we're still doing this. And if you fucking get angry at me at one point, I'm gonna fucking make you do. I'm gonna put it in the contract. I'll be like, look, I don't care how fucking angry you are.
I'm happy.
You're fucking gonna do it.
To do podcasts even when there's bad blood. I think that will be even funnier. That's a whole new dynamic to the whole thing.
I don't think it'll be bad blood for long, but I guess so.
So yeah, there's all sorts of things in the works. I've myself, ølund, I've got music out. I've got Fly Me to the Moon, but I've got music coming out, and I've been working with some really exciting people in Leicester. This is coming out tomorrow on the... Martin, you're looking at your phone. What's the date tomorrow?
It is the 25th.
It's the 25th tomorrow. And if you're listening on the day that this came out, or the week that this came out, I have a gig at... And you live in the Leicestershire area, I have a gig at the Firebug Bar in town on Monday the 30th. I'm on at 3:15, so come see me. But it's also an event set up by Birdbrain Gifts, who's ran by my good friend Robin. There's going to be like loads of local businesses and musicians, including my good friend Niall Barrow, who's like a hero to me, by the rivers, Leicester legend. So you know it's going to be good.
He's a pretty cool guy. We need to get him on.
You'll be able to see Niall Barrow. Hopefully,
I've seen him already.
I've seen him a few times in my life, but
I saw him last Sunday, so we're good.
So that's what's happening, and we're going to take a few weeks. I hypothesize 5 to 6 weeks, but I don't want to put a time frame on it.
I just said that.
Yeah, that's just like ballpark, but don't hold us to that. But we will be keeping busy, and we hope that you look after yourselves. And just to make this deal a little bit sweeter, I'm going to give you a song that I am playing at my gig on Monday, and possibly more gigs that will come in the future. Definitely more gigs that will come in the future.
I will definitely be there, so you can come check us both out.
Yeah, go find Martin. Go find Martin at
come
Firebug
find me.
if you're going to
come find me.
Go, and
I'll be the one
him
laughing
know.
really, really
You'll
loudly.
hear him before you see him.
Oh, yes, you definitely will. Every time.
And let him know what you think. But yeah, we're going to play this week's episode out with my brand new version of my first song that I ever wrote called Holiday Blues. It's not really finished, but yeah.
Okay. Good luck with that.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the Sound of Metal.
Sound of Metal, yeah.
I've enjoyed speaking to you, Martin.
Always.
And I guess we'll see you guys, and you'll see us on the other side.
That's right. We'll be coming in with a whole new bit of tech.
Sake, man. Peace.
Yes, peace.
I know not.